Perfect. Okay, so I get to fucking. Oh, good. I have some more time to go and masturbate. April Fools, motherfucker.
April Fools, yeah. Oh,
I'm
you
not
guys
joking
got
about the
it.
masturbation.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Uh, I bought it at Russia. Was it that cool? I mean, Alex didn't got a bit of it, but also that guy, that was, hey, oh, haha, obviously April Fools. He was, yeah. Dylan Sim, sorry. Oh, you were on Dylan Sim. How was it, my friend? How? Hey, JR. What's up, brother? Welcome, welcome. Let me. You need
Are you
JR.
long
You
like
need a
Donkey Kong or
special.
what? I'm so long, it's crazy. I think I grew.
I'm holding my long from yesterday. I'm half of the position. It. Oh shoot! I almost closed today on the retracement.
Yeah,
Then I
you
saw
got
like
scared.
yeah, I did a little bit. I was thinking of just calling the day out, but you know what? I just decided, well, I have nothing to lose yet. Stop to entry, so let's just roll with it. And yeah, it played out very nicely. By the way, Ethereum. Could maybe I say it unfuck Ethereum? I don't know.
Are you becoming an Ethereum maxi now or what?
No, fuck no. Still fuck Ethereum, bro. But might not be as bad as I was just calling it out. But yeah, you know what? I'm missing out something. Hey,
Oh
there you
yeah.
go. I'm at home, back at home.
Oh man.
Ah,
A very scammy price action though, man. Like very scammy. This
yeah,
morning,
it
oh my
is.
god.
Let me get a
The
recording
chop,
call. Oh,
VWAP,
we're
and
already
then
recording.
dump. We're already recording.
Yeah, we're already recording. I thought we wouldn't, but yeah,
Yeah, I can go into today. I mean, crazy.
let's do it.
Crazy. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Oh man. Okay, so looking here. We got our trading day. Okay. Massive massive pump. I mean, like whew, 2% off the lows here. Front running the golden pocket. Dude is so pissed. I had a big trade set up here and then I had to get in here. I'm still in the trade, 75% out. Asia, man. Asia. So like same thing. We always got to look at narrative and look at where things are and what's going on, right? So like I talk here a lot about like unsustainable price action. And what we're looking for is these areas where price really moves out quickly, right? So this was a target this morning right here. Right in here. You see how we just kind of shot up here and then continued? So for me, here's your like retarded balloon dog, right? But the balloon dog's got a massive neck. It looks like a giraffe, if anything, right? It's got the little um so this generally is retest of previous highs, right? Coming into an order block in here, retesting the lows in here. Okay. So absolute bomb diggity boom shakalaka boom trade. Okay. So it's not an easy morning. I mean, my stream, we had Jolt's job openings, which Piper covered well. But we had the VWAP teas, let's call it. Okay. This whole morning, like absolute dog shit price action. I'm sorry, mind my language, but like just sideways, okay? And no real direction. Now, I was looking for a retest of the lows to short this thing, and it did happen. So I was looking at that. I took one scalp here, and one long here. Okay, so 3 for 3 today, but not an easy trading day. Came down into here, bought the candle, stop loss below the low, bounce level. You can see the momentum, right? As soon as it started, and obviously it's taken off, right? So sometimes your trade plan it looks like this, and then it ends up being like this. You can't always forecast. You don't have a crystal ball like OC here. OC doesn't share his crystal ball all the time. Sometimes he does, so you got to listen very well. But clearly a big V-shaped recovery and then a continuation pump. We do have the highs to be swept right now, so that's the target. If we zoom out here and we look at where we're at now, for me, I was treating it as a range until proven otherwise, right? So right now, if this is our range, and we look at anything like our volume profile or our predictive ranges or anything like that, it's going to say that, hey, we are at the top of the range here. We are looking for possible liquidity zones on our way up. My key level being around 86,000. Right now, quite a nice push, to be honest. We'll see if we do continue onwards and upwards. I had an alert here and never came back and hit it. Okay. Oh wait, did I just erased my key levels, man. What am I doing? So looking for this to continue and push, okay? Continue and push. Where do we stop? Well, a lot of liquidity above us right here. You can see this is absolutely a liquidity grab this morning on a higher term time frame and pushing us to Valhalla. Okay, so the idea this morning, exhaustion, right? Exhaustion, but green money flow coming back up here, holding the zero line. Quite a strong move. Okay, so it's always easy to see it after the fact, and it's not easy to get into something like this. So we are now sweeping the highs and pushing up, which is beautiful. Tomorrow will be a day of retaliatory tariffs, right? So buckle up, get on your depends, and prepare for a possible dump or a possible pump. Like I said yesterday, I said we probably get a pump because it's going to bring clarity, right? That's just my 2 cents. I don't know if it's going to do such a thing, but for me, it's about, hey, if we get clarity of what's happening with the market and what the tariffs are and everything like that, then everybody should be like, okay, this is how I'm going to invest with that information, right? Sort of sell the rumor, buy the news. That's my idea. A lot of people are like, oh, everybody's saying we're going to die. Like, everybody. We're dead. We're going to zero. We're going to 72,000. Everybody. Like, you go all around the world. Everybody's saying Donald Trump's going to rug the whole market. Well, we'll see, right? We'll see. Either way, this or that, we'll take the trades and try to make money along the way, right? Catching this move here was not easy. I got in off of the push out in here. It was front running a level, but as you can see, there's no reason to close the trade. So I got in, managed risk. There's no reason to close the trade. There's nothing here saying close the trade, right? Just up only. So you just hold, and right now we're laughing all the way to the moon, coming into our next sell wall. So we'll see if we can eventually, flag out, maybe retest the highs in here and then bounce. Okay, that's an opportunity, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now, it's no trade coming into a resistance level right now. So for me, a little bit of patience. Very overextended, okay? Very overextended move here. So coming into this order block in here, as we can see, just want to be cautious here. Don't want to be too trigger happy, as they say, right? We have a bunch of liquidity on our way up. Big order block being tapped right now. Okay, so we'll see how this gets filled, and maybe we reject back down, right? Above 84,000, which is a critical volume level. And then we can look for a continuation. If this, then that trading, okay? Always prepared. But that's what I'm looking for right now, and we'll see how price materializes for the rest of the day. What are you looking at? I think you're muted.
Yes, I am. So thank you for that. Let me just share my screen here. I have a couple of things that I've been looking at, right? So for a little bit of a long time. Also, I want to answer the question that are we going to 87K before dumping? I think so. Let me explain why. This is something that we've been talking about, right? This is what we left out on Friday. So basically, we were looking at this area, last stand, either dynamic reactor and or the trend line, and we were marking the liquidity zone, right? Also, I was mentioning, well, it could make sense for us to come back down here, right, and then create a higher low for macro structure, talking about the 15 minutes, inner structure or meter structure for 4 hours, right? So basically creating a higher low with a trend line like that. Seems like we are just confirming now with this break out of the inverted head and shoulders that we're doing that. Something that I really want to see, it is the takeover the dynamic reactor right there. For me, that's gonna be almost a for sure breakout, right? So I want to have breakout retest, and off we go. So that will basically put us at 86, 87K before the next retracement, and then we need to take on this highs. So basically right now, and let me just adjust this, I was also expecting a rejection and then a little bit of a further movement here for a double bottom. We did not have that double bottom, but we have a very cool just V-shaped recovery. So let me just get rid of this. There we go. And then also adjust my trend line. This trend line can still be broken. All right. So I'm not saying that we are there for sure, but seems like we are confirming it right now as we speak. All right. So creating a higher low. The next thing that we need is to put in a higher high. So far, if we take a look at this other line and we prolonged it, we are creating an upwards megaphone, right? Usually these kind of megaphones, and this is what I don't like, they tend to break downwards, all right? So we need to be careful on this formation so far. Is this bullish for the week? Yes, I would say that we can still have the chance to break above this area, hit this target, and then go back and find this other one, or at least let's take on what we've been drawing here, which is this trend line, or better yet, and let me just start speculating. There we go. I think there will be somewhere around here. Let me also adjust this somewhere around here. There we go. And what I'm looking for, it is the median, right? So basically the center of this line. See, there we go. I think that looks like the center of this line, right? Oops. Prolong this one also like that. So the center of that line, I think that will be it. And also the center of this possible line that we could be having right there. So as you can see, it still also matches, not as perfect as before, but still matches with support and then resistance. So that's why I want us to take over the dynamic reactor. I think that by taking over the dynamic reactor, we're also going to be taking over the median line of this megaphone. So as you can see, I'm just updating as we go. But yeah, I do think that we're gonna get to 87 before a retracement happens. We still have a little bit more to go. We are in rejection zones, absolutely. But something important is that look at our true 7. Look at when we rejected in here. Look at the true 7. It had a bright spot and then clipping. Bright spot and rejection zone. Right now, we are below the 0 line. That's not good initially, but if we start going above dynamic reactor, now it will be very, very good. Because if we start taking the, for myself or for my style, the most important resistance, right? If we start breaking the most important resistance, well, then having that much to grow on our true 7, that means that we can keep pushing to the upside, all right? So far, there's nothing confirmed. As always, I mean, we cannot change the markets or deal with the markets as they're moving throughout the class, but we can absolutely plan for what might be happening. That's why I'm trying to give you guys everything that I see. So when it happens, any of those possibilities, you know exactly what to do, right? So just to wrap it up, I'm looking for a breakout of the dynamic reactor. If we do so, I do believe that we're going to have a breakout retest, holding the median, maybe something like that, maybe just teasing with it, right? And then going to hit the 92,800 for the upcoming week. That doesn't make a change of trend. Let me give you guys another perspective here. Let me go there. And let me also just zoom out for the daily. There we go. On the daily, what we got, it is a trend line. First trend line is this one right here, all right? We're still below that trend line. So guys, do not expect us just to break it and go to Valhalla, right? We can still reject, I'd look at that at the dynamic reactor, right? On daily, which is not the same one at 4 hours. Or let me just Control C, or follow this other trend line that we had right here. This one right there, right? Let me extend this. Oh, of course, it had to be blocked. So let me extend this one, all right? And look at what we got. It's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go, right? So that's why we were looking for the support zone also right here at this liquidity grabbing area on the 4 hours, not on the daily. On right now, we are on breakout retest. If you're expecting to enter for the daily, I mean, just wait for that flip of the ribbon, breakup of the zero line. All right, that might still be a very dangerous trade because you might be entering a little bit late. That's because we have a bunch of resistances in here, which is to be expected. All right. Another point that you can do here, or another thing that you can do, is trade it as a DCA. Is this a good DCA point to enter? Yes. Well, then go for a DCA in spot. Or if you really want to force a leverage, do a 2x leverage, 3x leverage, and then prepare for your next DCA entry lower. Right? If you make money on this DCA entry, take it and then restart your DCA as we go lower. So that's another perspective that you can do. So the main point in here, or the end point right now, is that if you're going to be purchasing right now, do not expect a massive gain, right? Not even a little bit of a gain. Expect for it to go lower, right? And if you make a profit out of this zone, perfect. You nailed it. Take it and go home, right? If you don't worry, because you're looking for a DCA strategy, right? So this is looking like a good DCA strategy point because yes, it's low. It's not the lowest, of course, but it is a low breakout retest. So it's the low of a retest, all right? That tells you that you have the chance to go up. And when you buy Bitcoin, you really want it to go up, whatever is the case, right? So that is basically a two-way perspective. So remember, when you are doing DCA, you look for your very, very low, your farthest low, and then you divide however much capital you do have on hand, right, in how many entries you want. Let me give you an example right here, very quick. Right here, I have an area of support right here because it's marked for all of this movement. So let's just call it that we're going to be going to 64. All right, for my lowest low. So I have, I don't know, let's just say that I have $100 right now. So right now I can allocate, maybe this is one support, this is another support, maybe this is another support, right? So 1, 2, and 3. So divide 100 into 3, that is 33.933333, right? So 33. So I'm gonna be putting right now $33, right? At maybe at X3 leverage, right? Or X4 leverage. And then whenever it hits this area, another $33. And whenever I hit this area, I'm gonna set another $33. What happens if in the next week I earn another $100? In the next month, I have another $100 to put in. And I already have put in here. Don't worry. I just divide 33 and then 66. That's it. What happens if I have another $100 the next week? Well, then don't worry. You can do what? The same thing, 33, and then look for another very low, 66, right? So that way, as the price goes downwards, you are increasing the amount of money that you're adding on whatever or whenever you have the cash available to add it. All right. So the only first thing that you need to realize it is that you need to set your plan for whatever you have on hand today. Whatever you are willing not to spend on a disco, on tequilas, on beer, on whatever you have decided that is going to be invested no matter what. Well, spend it on coffee, man. Spend it on coffee. That is the one of
Thought
the
you were gonna
best.
send me coffee.
I am. By the way, let's get into it at the end of the class if you have the chance. And I'll get your address, your mailing address, and I send it to you this weekend.
I gotta teach again, but I'm free after 1.
Oh, perfect. That is perfect.
And Thursday I won't be able to go late at Chart Hackers because I have an appointment for my son.
Oh, no worries.
I'm gonna let Piper know too.
Absolutely. All right, so that's what I got right now on
and
Bitcoin. Yeah.
That's not an April Fool's joke.
All right, Roger that. Perfect. One more thing here. Created for myself says Alex OC. Everyone, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Created for myself. I scalped 161 in 2 minutes this morning. This is becoming a topic. I'm really, really happy for you, Created for myself. I'm really, really happy. Now that you're being consistent, let me give you a friendly advice. Now that you're being consistent, consider, right, keeping that consistency over time, but better. I mean, of course, that's not the advice, but better see what you could improve on, what could have been the worst or the breaking point of what you did. All right, so go back and do some retrospective. That retrospective will take you most likely to improve your stop loss and your target. Now that you have achieved consistency, that is the key. Now that you are consistent, you can be more picky about your safety, your safety requirements. Why? Because with a better safety requirement, you can push your trade farther, if that makes sense. So just do some retrospective on what you're trading, how you're trading into, see what is the breaking point or the failure on your strategy. Try to push it, right? Not in real life, just analyze it and then start setting up some steps that could mitigate that in the future. Now that you have that mitigation, see how you can push your earnings or your profits. Usually, not always, when you improve your safety, you can pump up either your position or your leverage. One of those, not the two of them. All right. So I think you might be on that route now that you can start improving. It might feel, the rush again, but that's how you start scaling up your operations, right? Until the point that you're not that profitable. When you start losing profitability and you cannot learn from it because you're getting to a barrier, you do it one step back down. That's what happened to me on the 4-hour 10x leverage, right? When I started going above 10x leverage, my profitability went down and I was not able to decipher what I could improve on that. Therefore, you don't rush. That's all right? I stayed on 4 hours 10x. And now I'm pushing 4 hours 20x, right? Over time, you'll come above or going through that wall that is, not letting you profit more on your either position or your leverage. Caveat there, instead of rising my leverage from 10 to 20, what I did is just rise my position size, all right? And then I realized that I was getting scared of how big my position was getting. So it wasn't really a matter of leverage, it was a psychological barrier of, guys, that I'm not used to betting, right? Betting in the market that much money. I'm getting scared of losing it. So that's why going back into my safety parameters, it gave me once again the confidence to increase my position. So right now I'm between 10 and 20. That doesn't mean 15. That means sometimes I do 10, sometimes 12, 15, or 20, right? It depends how I feel. And then I keep my position at the same time, but it's already bigger than last year, just so you know. So I think that was important to touch because that might help you scale your operation up. But other than that, I am so stuck. That is awesome. That is basically what I got, Alex, for Bitcoin. Let me pass it over to you. I want to open up a debate on what do you think about that breakout retest. Do you think that we're gonna have a? Do you think that we are building up that megaphone? Do you think that we're having a structure being built on the 4 hours on the daily? I also see something that you did not mention here, but in the 15 minutes we have your sweep of the lows trend line breakout, sweep of the lows, off we go, setup. So yeah, I think that was almost perfect. I don't know if you have seen that. I think you have. That's why you traded the way you traded it. But I did not see you talking about it. So other than that, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're bang on there with like also with sizing up your account. Like it's not. It's you want to become emotional, try to trade bigger money. That's going to be the true test, right? I always suggest like you want to be caring about the amount of size you put on. Like obviously you want to risk 1% per trade, but you should care about every dollar. You got to think about it this way. Every dollar is an employee, right? And you're putting that dollar to work. Okay? And sometimes that dollar turns into $10, sometimes it turns into 100, sometimes it turns into 1,000, okay? Uh, as you get more size and more comfortable, it's going to be more. I mean, I've taken $700 losses recently. That's a lot of money for people. Like $700 loss, $1,200 loss, $1,000 loss. 1,000 is kind of my threshold right now. Uh, but it's definitely due to risk management. And yes, I do see your sweep of the lows in here. OC, I think sweep of the lows and go would be this here. And off we go. We also had it down in here as bottoming structure. So there's many opportunities for that. You see it happen quite often, even in here. So very easy trade. Not always easy to get into though. You got to be brave. You got to be brave, and you gotta have the cojones, as we say here. Okay. Uh, but when you're adding size, it's there's gonna take what needs to happen is that you need to understand what you're looking to do, right? If I'm taking this trade here and I'm risking 300 to make 900, right? This 300 is a non-negotiable. Okay? Moving this will get you into trouble. Lots of trouble, right? Because when you move that, your P&L, you can be winning, but you're going to have these fall off moments that will absolutely destroy your account. This is what you must avoid. You must avoid. Okay? Because this will be detrimental to your account. Now, the thing is once you've taken trades where you understand your risk management, then all this becomes is another number. Okay, the setup is the exact same. This becomes another number, right? So for me, I can risk 1% of my account, which is $1,000 of $100,000 account. I can risk 1,000. I typically risk 300 to 600 depending on the trade setup. So I don't even risk 1% anymore, because once we get into risking, let's say $1,000, $1,500, I get a little bit more uncomfortable, and I know that's my threshold. So it's going to take time to train my brain. I'm still working on it, just like you guys are, to train my brain to be comfortable when this thing goes down to minus 600, minus whatever, right? That I'm okay because I'm taking the trades that are based on my risk management strategy. Okay. Meaning this is my $1,000, and depending on how price behaves, I'm okay in this area here where I'm not in profits yet. And then when I'm in profits, I'm not taking it too early because I get excited. Okay? It's always a battle against you. That's it. It's Are you taking a high probability trade setup with good risk management with a good R multiple? And are you taking profits too early? Are you risking too much? Are you holding your trades too long and giving it back when it comes back on you? Are you being greedy, right? So there's a lot of things that are going to compound when trading that are going to come into play. Now, the good thing is that we have tools to help us hold trades longer, to jump in these trades with confidence, to understand where price is going, where is it heading, right? Look at that quantum reactor. Poof. Perfect call there. But you're going to have these tools, right? Right now, we are very overextended. So typically, you're looking for shorts, right? You should be looking for shorts. We've swept that high. We have this high now to come for liquidity, right? That we're interested in. This is creating a lot of hopium right now. Let's put it that way. A lot of hopium that, hey, man, we're going to the moon, right? And guess what tomorrow is? The day of the reckoning, right? So it's like, how prepared are you, right? Depending on what happens with price action. But like I said, everybody thinks it's going to dump. So you go over to like the NASDAQ today. I always draw out where I think the price will go. This morning, I drew out this box. This helped me make a decision this morning to get long, okay? I drew out this box this morning. I'm like, if we come back, we were here. If we come back, we revisit previous highs and we bounce. Look at how it worked. Okay? Almost perfect. So having a general idea on the NASDAQ can really help you as well. So what's our thought right now? I would look for a retest of the highs and a bounce. Okay, so I would look for this thing to come back in here and bounce. Very simply, right? Or if it fails, to come back and get acceptance into the middle of the range. Okay? So always having, an idea. You look at the S&P this morning, same deal. I said, look in here and for a bounce. Same deal. I drew this out. I just drew a simple box this morning because I'm not like trying to do big TA. I'm just looking for general areas where there's confluence, right? Meaning lows, highs, uptrend. Where would we bounce from? And we bounced perfectly from it. Okay. So these are the things that you need to start doing. There's always extra work you can do. What were we doing this morning that gave us bullishness? The Dixie dumped this morning off of that Jolt snooze, which I thought was weird that we were on Bitcoin. We were dumping. I thought it was weird. I'm like, why are we dumping with the Dixie? Typically, they're inverse correlated, right? When the Dixie dumps, Bitcoin pumps. Well, guess what happened after we dumped? We pumped, right? So there's a lot of tools you can use. I use the Dixie, the SPY, the US 100, which is the NASDAQ, basically. Bitcoin or USDT dominance. Look at this, right? So if you had charted USDT dominance, what would you have done here, right? We look at our tools. We pull out maybe our predictive ranges just to get some support levels, okay? That's going to help us. And we look here. What did we do this morning? We came back up and we retested previous lows. Okay? And guess what we did after that? We dumped, right? So if you want to trade successfully on Bitcoin, or on any of the altcoins, because they trade very similarly, you can use USDT, you can use the SPY, you can use the US 100, you can use the Dixie. To chart out, look at this. You got fair value gaps all the way up. You have some volume nodes here. So what am I looking for? A retest back in here, a retest back in here, push back, dump. I can set alerts in here if I wanted to be like, okay, we've retested. Now I can look for the dump, right? You put on Bitcoin in here. It's the same thing, right? You go inverse correlated. You put on the Bitcoin. There's many ways to add levels of confluence through here, but it traded exactly the same as Bitcoin this morning. Look at the line. Perfect. Okay. But you want to stack these things. You want to stack a bias, right? You want to have things that are like, okay, there's 5 things right now that are pointing down, And then there's 10 things that are pointing up. What does that do for my probabilities? Well, that gives me a 50% probable chance that we're probably going to go up, which makes me 75% odds to take the trade, right? If you're just doing basic calculations, right? Then I go into here. Okay, we're retracing to the previous lows. We're oversold on the oscillator. We are bouncing off a key level right now, right? So you start to stack these things. Therefore, getting into a trade down here becomes a lot easier because you're like, okay, if I'm wrong, that's the 25% chance that I'm wrong. If I'm right, I took a good trade, right? And you do this over and over and over again. And over time, your account will look like this. Not like this, not like this, but like that, right? Slow and steady, right? And hopefully we can help you with that. Right now, we're coming into resistance. So what do we look for when we are overextended to the upside? What is the first thing I always tell you guys to look for? We do not short until we have confirmation. What is confirmation? Well, put on your market structure, right? We are up only. We are looking for a mitigation of a low. This can go up here, whatever. We're looking for this to be broken right here and retested. And either we're taking the short from here, where we break and go down, changing character, or we're getting a little bit sneaky and we're going off the break of structure here, and we're looking for a lower high. If this, then that. If this, then that. Right now, you're trying to get on the gravy train. Maybe you took the retest back in here and the long continuation trade. Maybe you stayed out of this, right? This isn't the biggest pullback, right? This is not easy to get into, but you can have easy risk management if you got long here, which I did. Okay. But I got long here, but I took profits right away. I took 75% out. Okay. Let me show you guys because I don't want you guys to think I'm a liar. So I'm not. But I'll show you guys. I took the trade right here, 75% out, $200, which is different for me than it is for you, right? Entry price 84,706, 84,706. So yes, I got in right here. I had take profit one, and look, we let it ride. Free trade, baby. Stop loss at entry. I just chillin', right? But I know how to read this. I know what a pullback looks like. Right? I know we're extended to the upside. And I know not to trade short here until I see this. Okay? Just think about the beautiful Canadian mountains. This Canadian guy, he taught me about these mountains in Canada. He said once the mountains put in a lower peak and the lower peak starts to run down the beautiful river, I can press short. Or in the valleys of the lower mountains, right? I can press long when the valleys are broken, and I can take the winding path up to the next mountains, okay? However you want to see it, this is what you got to look for. Okay? In here, what is your confirmation? Well, my confirmation was 1 minute structure. We have a 1 minute balloon dog right here. I press buy right here. Retest of the order block. That's it. Right there. That's my strategy. Stop loss below the low. I show you guys this. Order block, retest, breakout, changing character, retest of the order block, off you go. Easy peasy. Okay? I've shown you guys that a million times. I will show you a million times again. Okay? And there's your order block. Here's your long. Here's your setup. Here's your stop loss. Target, V-shaped recovery. Back up to the highs. Easy trade setup. High probabilities. Easy risk management. All fitting into the strategy, right? Look at this. We're getting bearish divergence right now. Ooh, up at a key level, looking to sweep these highs. So what do I look for here? We're coming up to our little dots, the sweepy zone, okay? We have pushed up only. Bearish divergence. So can we push one more time? Sweep, break structure, come down? Can I go short? Yes. Should I wait? Yes. Okay. So always if this, then that, trying to plan the trade, but being patient enough to take the trade when it's suitable, right? when it's suitable. And you'll get used to it through repetition, right? If I'm trading on a 15-minute time frame, there's no trade for me right now. It's waiting, right? We're coming up to a key level. I'll wait, right? If I'm trading on a 4-hour, maybe I was looking for a long in here, right? We got a beautiful bullish divergence. We have a change in structure that we talked about yesterday, remember, on our 30-minute market structure. Little lesson there, right? So we talked about market structure on our 30-minute. We said, look, guys, this was yesterday's class, 10:30, right here. We told you yesterday, 10:30 market structure change. I yelled at you guys. I said, 10:30, we have changed structure on the 30-minute. Bullish. So what do we look for? We told you, we look for a higher low. You buy the higher low. Look, it gave you lots of time to buy this. Okay, and look. Printing. Very simple. Okay? Very simple. And sometimes, guess what? Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're trickling down here. You don't have any sort of higher low continuation trade in here. So if you're looking at this, oh, why didn't it work here, Alex? Right? Why didn't it work here? Well, did you have a market structure change this whole way down? I would say this is a pretty good downtrend until you get into here and you get above here. That would be where I would see the market shift. Okay. How do we know that? Let's go into the 5-minute. Let's go look at that same exact session that we just talked about right here. Right. So we had the market structure shift over there. Where did market structure change here? I would say right here. It's not loading for me. It's going to load. Don't worry. I got to talk dirty to it. There you go. Okay. And there's your shift right there where we drew the line, right? There's your shift. Okay. Do we have a shift? Not yet. So we wait. We're hitting premium right now on our predictive ranges on our 5-minute, which is great. Means we're overextended. Premium likes my levels too. I guess Premium and I are best friends now. So we're at the top of the range. We are looking for shorts. We are on the buns right now, baby. Okay? The buns can get overextended, but we should be looking for acceptance back down into the equilibrium of the range, okay? If this and that. Prepared trader. Profitable trader, right? So that's my ideas right now. What do you think, OC? Did we not say the market structure breakdown yesterday about the 30-minute?
You did?
We did, right?
Yeah. We went over it. I think you're spot on. Something that I was just looking for, it is just other altcoins that it might be blowing. Like, for example, EOS. It has a very nice blow up to the upside. In fact, let's take a look at it at those just before we wrap things up because we're getting at the end of the class. So let's just a 5 minutes setup here. So we were talking about EOS the last week, right? Remember that I was telling you, well, we have an operating channel. Usually those channels break to the downside. And what was our target? Well, our target was, there we go, liquidity zones, right? Dynamic reactor and also the trend line that we had going on in there. So what happened? Yeah, of course, it did not follow exactly the timing, but look at the area, right? I mean, as long as you know where the area is, well, then you can see that, or you can jump in with confirmations, right? With market structure, there we go, sweep of the lows, but going on support, a flip of the ribbon, reversals, there we go, and off we go to what? TP number 1 and TP number 2. So that is one of those that played out. Another one that played out that we already have talked about, it is Ethereum. Litecoin, it is right now playing out. By the way, I was not able to jump back into this area. I was aiming just slightly bit lower here. Did not enter on that rebound. That's fine. OM, we are on profits. Remember to take your profits and move your stop to entry. Let it ride. 50% out. I'm 50% out, by the way, just so you know. No, I'm not closing it completely. Link looking fantastic. So hopefully you guys enter on Link. Something that is not looking that good is Litecoin. Why? Because I was not expecting this movement to the upside. Sorry, wasn't Litecoin? Yeah, it was supposed to be Litecoin. Let me see. Maybe. Oh, Atom. Sorry, Atom. All right, Atom. I gave a short entry right there. Look at that. We nailed it by the cent. Something important it is that we can still go upwards here, and we're seeing that pull to the upside. Guys, this is a great opportunity to move your stop to entry if you're taking this short on Atom, right? Yeah, it played out fantastically. First one, second one, move your stop to entry, take 50% out, and then let it run. If you have not done so, well, then this is the time for you to move your stop to entry, and we are not taking profits at this zone. So you might be getting stopped out of this trade with $1 or $2 on profit. Remember, when I move my stop to entry, I over move it a little bit into the profit side. So whatever happens, I'm always stopped on profits. All right, $1.50, whatever is the case, trying to compensate for fees. So basically, that's what I got. The only thing that I want to touch back was on Atom to make sure that we're tracking what's happening with this short. And yeah, other than that, seems like this is going to be a bullish week. Hopefully, it is. So other than that, let's wrap this class up. I know Alex has another one to go, and I need to set up to date the recordings. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Alex, the goodbyes before we go.
Yeah, man. Busy day. Bitcoin ripping, baby. Let's go. I think all Piper's shorts are gonna get liquidated. No. We'll see, man. We'll see. Have a great day, everybody. Trade safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right.
Guys, thank you so much for joining.